It's a show that's so mad that the Celtics won Game 1.
No.
They literally talked about changing the rule of basketball.
We didn't even mention
Literally said,
I've been
it's too
saying
much
that
now.
for years.
Oh, Celtics won.
I've
We
been
have
saying
nothing
for
to do with the
years,
Celtics.
there's a threshold of how many
hold on.
threes you can take.
The dam is broken.
Hold on.
61 might be too many.
Can I say something real quick, and then we'll get to football? You were a shameless Denver fan all of last year.
Yeah.
And now you're acting like you won the championship.
I picked the Celtics.
No, you
from
picked
New England.
Denver all year.
Yeah. Denver beat the Celtics twice.
Okay.
They didn't get a chance. It's like the Ravens.
You
and
know
the
you're wearing a
49ers.
Celtics tie, acting like
I'm
you're
not
lucky.
saying change the rules
Okay.
because Joe
Let's
Mazzulla
start the
realized,
show.
hey, stack the
Start the
team.
show.
Nothing but threes.
Start the
That's
three
how
and
it works.
Roll it, Dusty.
We start with D-Hop three-peat, maybe. Four-time All-Pro who has been hampered this year by knee injuries, a knee injury, and Will Levis. Joins the Chiefs for a fifth-round pick. Here's D-Hop's numbers with the Titans. 8 total touchdowns. This year, only 1. Nick, your reaction to the new addition?
Well, listen, my reaction is this is why Brett Veach is the best GM in football, and this is why the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Because while the rest of the league can overpay for guys of a similar caliber, and while NFL media can talk about Cooper Kupp can be had for the low price of a second-round pick, and he'll throw in his multiple ankle surgeries to go along with it. And Cooper Kupp's a great player who, unfortunately, you know what I mean, his body has betrayed him in a serious way the last few years. The Chiefs say, nah, we'll give you a fifth. Well, let's be honest, it'll be a fourth because the condition is make the Super Bowl, and we're going to do that for a guy who will just seamlessly fit into the role Rashee Rice was doing. You guys know I don't like older receivers, and I certainly don't like expensive.
31, right?
Exactly.
31 he's 32.
He's 32, and he's 32. He's the same draft class as Travis Kelce, but he's going to be making no money. It's a dozen game plus the Super Bowl run, so call it a 15-game commitment, and we know exactly what DeAndre is going to be doing. And it is because they don't panic and because they address a need without mortgaging the future that they can have the youngest defense in football also be the best defense in football. And listen, Brew, the Chiefs have a pretty good thing going, which is every year they scan the landscape and they say, hey, is there a wide receiver out there that is with a terrible organization with no quarterback? Would you like to come here for pennies on the dollar? And you know what we'll throw in? You get to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl and break a Super Bowl record. And 2 years ago, they scanned the landscape and said, Kadarius Toney, come on down. And he did. And he has the record for longest punt return in Super Bowl history and scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And last year, they scanned the landscape and they said, old friend McCole Hardman, are you wallowing away with the New York Jets? Why don't you come on down? And he did, and in the Super Bowl, he scored a touchdown and has the record for the only overtime touchdown in Super Bowl history. So this year, it'll be DeAndre Hopkins, who will, as a cherry on top of a Hall of Fame career, will get to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl, win a championship, and the Chiefs will give up the 124th pick of the draft for the pleasure of it. That's what it is.
Well, look, Brett Veach is great, obviously, but you left out a few names. The defense obviously is great. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Sure.
That's the thing. And DeAndre Hopkins obviously is not what he used to be, but when you put him in that offense, he's going to be productive. He's still, I think, better than Juju. And Juju, a couple weeks ago, had 8 catches for 130 yards.
And Juju's hurt now. Yep.
Yeah, so I think he will be productive. He will not be Rashee Rice.
No.
Rashee Rice was playing at a Pro Bowl level, if not higher, and leading the yards or right up there in yards after the catches. And that's not D-Hop.
No, I mean he just was going to play that role, the slot receiver.
Right, but he won't be taking that 10-yard catch and taking it 30 extra yards, but he will be effective. And, yeah, they got better. They got better. I don't think a three-peat's guaranteed. You got to play the games, but they got better, and that's why I want to speak to my team, the Ravens. Don't stand pat You just saw the Chiefs made a power move. Now you need to make a power move. This I don't even think would qualify as a power move, but I'm going to throw out Jadeveon Clowney. Go get him. He's wallowing in Carolina right now. They should be sending everybody out. Jadeveon was good for the Ravens last year, helped their pass rush, had 9.5 sacks. Go get him. They still get to the quarterback pretty well, but they'd be better with him. And maybe if you could, I don't know if you can get a defensive back.
I've got one for you. Do you have a name? Because I've got one.
I don't have a name.
No, listen, I think for the right price, listen, I'm in a charitable mood. The Ravens need the help. It's fine.
I don't know if you're serious.
No, I'm being dead serious. Because it's a guy I'd like the Chiefs to go after because Jalen Watson just broke his ankle. That was the injury this week with the Chiefs, their number 2 corner. Marshawn Lattimore. Who's excellent in New Orleans, and their cap situation is in shambles. And so I think he might be available for a price richer than the Chiefs would be willing to pay, but Baltimore might pay it.
But that's the thing, though, real talk. Like, if you're the Ravens, and obviously you're having a good year, that's the team you got to beat. They just got better in the area that you're most challenged in, which is your pass defense. They got better throwing the football with
That's a good take, bro.
So go do something. Mahomes, I don't know if he'll have this type of year again, and you got to go ahead and try to win it now while he's not playing at his ultimate level. We'll see if he does with D-Hop.
Do you think the Chiefs are done making moves? It's really, like you said, one big wide receiver.
I think that I think that they might look for a corner. The defense has been great, but the corner position got thin when they traded Snead. McDuffie, I think, is in the discussion to be the best corner in football. Pat Surtain's in that discussion. There's, I'm not saying it's Sauce. It's still in that discussion, but he's in the mix. But Jalen Watson was very good, and if you were, I don't know if how locked in to the end of the Niners game was, once he went out, they immediately attacked Najee Johnson, a 7th-round pick from 3 years ago. That's who Cowing made the big catch on, and so I think that's on the board because that could be a actual need for them. But as far as what this allows, by the time the games start mattering, I believe the Chiefs are going to be trotting out the following skill position guys. Obviously, Mahomes is going to be the quarterback. Pacheco will be back. Kareem Hunt will still be there, Hunt's playing great. Kelce will be at that point back to being the most valuable weapon in football because it will be playoff Travis Kelce. And I think the wide receiving group at that point is going to be Hollywood, Xavier, and DeAndre Hopkins in the slot. That's a formidable bunch. And so, because I think Hollywood is out until late December, but the games don't count for the Chiefs till January. And so I think they can, this fits. This fits as far as what it needs to be without him having to be, he can be 45, 50 yards a game and very valuable.
It could be like OBJ with the Rams a couple years ago.
Different stylistically, not as explosive.
Made a great impact.
Yes.
MVP odds. Lamar still in the driver's seat, followed by Mahomes, Josh, and Jared Goff. Statistically, Mahomes' season has been not good. QB wins, of course, number 1, but everything else far below what we were expecting going into this year. All right, do you expect D-Hop to help Mahomes, Brew, snap out of this, what you referred to in the meeting as a funk? You're really applying the funk label to.
Well, he's in a funk, there's no doubt. D-Hop or not, I fully expect Mahomes to come out of this because he's the GOAT. I mean, seriously, he's the best we've ever seen, not the GOAT, but the best we've ever seen. I do not expect him in his prime to keep playing like this. I don't. So, yeah, I do expect it again with Hopkins or not. I don't think if he does come out of it, D-Hop won't be the reason. I think he can help, of course, because he's a good receiver. But here's why I say he's not the reason. This is on Mahomes. Because when Rashee Rice, who, as we said, was having a great year, was one of the top receivers in the league, Mahomes was still in the funk, right? Against Cincinnati, which is a bad defense, Mahomes threw 2 interceptions and had an 80 passer rating. That's with Rashee Rice. So those first 3 games that Rice played, Mahomes had 3 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, which is that's better than the 1 touchdown, 4 picks he's had in the last 3 games, but that's still not Mahomesian. So this is on Mahomes. This is not going to be on D-Hop, anybody like that. And it's not like last year where it wasn't really Mahomes. It was the guys dropping passes where they led the league in drops. This year they got 5 drops. Only 5 teams have fewer drops.
They haven't been dropping the ball.
So this is more on Mahomes, regardless of who the receivers are. So I expect him to come out of it, but not necessarily because of Hopkins.
All right. Before I answer, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
This is out of nowhere, so I apologize. Why do you think no team's ever three-peated? Because I have my own theories, but, like, does anything jump to mind? Like, because I would argue
injuries, just off the top of my head.
Injuries, sure, and that's applying to the
one part
Chiefs.
bad luck.
Complacency.
No, I think there is like a disease of more, and it's hard enough to repeat.
Yep.
In the NFL, nobody had repeated in 20 years like that, and so there's that. So even Patrick Mahomes, who I think is the best football player ever, I think they're, particularly after last season, when it went as poorly as it could have imagined, I think he was playing worse last year than he's playing this year.
Really?
I know the numbers don't back that up.
Plays,
When you win anyway, you're on the road, your team's record's not that good, you have that hard path, you win anyway. There is, no matter how steely-eyed you are, a natural feeling of, am I going to have the laser focus I always do? I always did. And what I think backs that up is, as bad as his numbers are, you know what are still the best in the league are right there? His fourth quarter numbers. We can show it to you. This shocked me when I saw it. Here's Patrick Mahomes ranks this season in the fourth quarter. That's what it is. And that is, we don't do total QBR on this show because that's an ESPN stat. But if you're a fan of that, he's first in the NFL in that in the fourth quarter. And so I am not arguing, and I have not argued he's played well this season. But he's played great in the fourth quarters this year, and he has made the plays necessary to be the reason they win rather than just on the winning side of the coin.
Yeah.
And the one game I would disagree with the only thing I said there that I think wasn't the case was Atlanta, where they had a chance to put the game away with the ball in their hands. They went 3 and out, and then the defense made the huge 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 stops when they were up 5. And so I think the numbers are a little bad luck, a little bad concentration, a little bad plays, all mixed together, create 8 turnovers where maybe there should have been 4. Like he has, to my eye, had 4 horrific what were you doing passes, and the other
ones like Xavier Worthy slips.
Xavier Worthy slips, the one off Juju's
but again,
hands. But that happens to everyone.
No,
correct. I'm not giving an excuse, but I just think that there is a level of it is going to be hard to create a laser-like focus for week 8 and 9 and 10 when you keep winning, when your defense is so good, okay, as long as I'm good late, we're going to win anyway. And you don't have the easy buttons of that guy's streaking wide open. Now he did have Xavier streaking wide open first play and missed him. Overthrew Xavier Worthy, which I didn't know was possible on either end, but it was. And so I just don't.
I hear you.
Do the fourth quarter numbers?
But here's where I disagree. The fourth quarter numbers, that's intriguing. But he wanted to come out and have a great year. I'm sure.
No question. And wanted to win MVP.
Right. Even if I get that you can get complacent, but football is different than baseball and basketball, and there's only 17 games. And I'm sure, like you said, he wanted to win MVP. He's got Brady out there that he's chasing as far as winning championships. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's more in the postseason. But I'm sure he's probably got Peyton Manning in his sights as far as MVPs.
I think he wants everything. I think he wants all the records, all the MVPs. No question.
So that's the only reason I would push back on that theory, but it does make some sense.
What about theory?
For the record, I saw someone tweet the QBR thing, and I was like, that can't be right. And then Josh ran those numbers, so it surprised even me. But it is compelling to a degree.
But I'm not that surprised when I look at the games. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt he's been clutch.
And all of his mistakes have come early.
I know, but that's a little bit of a the opportunity to be clutch in all of these games.
Is because he's playing poorly early.
Yeah.
No, they're not
like
playing.
Lamar's not clutch.
Playing.
It's like, well, they're up 20.
No,
what do you want
they
them to
are
do?
playing
totally
good
true.
teams.
They're playing good teams.
So it's not like they're playing tomato cans.
Yeah. No, that is true. Yeah.
They played a few good teams.
But they played one of the toughest schedules in the NFL.
Well, if we keep on saying the Bengals are good, they play the Ravens and the 49ers.
Well, the Bengals are starting to win.
Bengals are not good.
Okay, then the Chargers are fine, but the Chargers are then.
Okay.
But hold on, no. If the Bengals aren't good because of their record,
The Chargers
are good because of their record.
Then the Cardinals are good.
Okay.
Head to L.A. where history was made before half when Bronny and LeBron checked in. Bronny did get up a three that would have been assisted by LeBron, but no go.
That would have been so sick.
It would have been awesome.
I haven't rooted for a regular season shot to go like that.
It didn't look good coming out.
I thought it was online, but he just missed it long. Yeah.
Your reaction.
Like you said, pretty awesome. Great answer from LeBron. I hadn't even really thought about that, but obviously playing in the NBA, you're traveling, you're away, you're missing games when Bronny's growing up playing. So that made a lot of sense. That was great. I honestly thought, and it was great seeing them on the court together. To me, the most touching moment for me was when they showed LeBron on the bench.
Yep.
Like, you ready?
Yeah.
Like, we about to go in and you feel the intensity. just don't get nervous. Just play hard. Like that was just great fatherly advice. That was the best part of the night to me. And I'll say this, moving past Bronny, look, the Lakers, I don't think they'll win the West. But J.J. Redick had them playing some good basketball. It's only one game, but they played through AD, and he had 36, 16, and 3 blocks. Their defensive intensity was, now, that's on the players, but apparently he's drawn that out of them at least for one game. Their defensive intensity was great. I just thought they did some things where they looked pretty fresh and pretty good. So I'll give J.J. credit for that, too. But, yeah, obviously a great night.
I mean, you know that I thought they were poorly coached last year. Yesterday, they didn't look like that. Well, I think JJ's struggles are going to be more with ego and media management than it is actual X's and O's basketball. I think he's super sharp X's and O's basketball, and I think he's more forward-thinking than coaches they've had in the past. Bronny and then Bron. The Bronny part of it is, I know folks, I know there are some people that are, in my opinion, concern trolling on the internet where they're like, I know this is what LeBron wants. I don't know if it's what Bronny wants. Have any of you ever met a 20-year-old? Like, I don't know. Like, show of hands for 20-year-old basketball players out there. It's like, hey, you can play on national TV with the Los Angeles Lakers and get a chance to D up Anthony Edwards. And on that possession, hold your own. Like, you want to do it like, no, actually, I want to get there on my own merits 100%. It's like, well, you might not get there. So that piece of it. Yeah. The other thing is this, and this is where sometimes I do think we miss one of the bigger stories in basketball history, which is the dunk LeBron had with Bronny on the court seems like it shouldn't be possible. Someone who is old enough to father someone on the court is athletic enough to do this in year 22.
Yeah.
Like I know last night LeBron had like 16 points, whatever it is. But all those NBA lists that just came out, he's the 7th best player in the league. He's the 9th best player in the league. He's the 11th best player in the league. He is year 22, which has only been seen by Vince Carter. So it is the two parallel stories to me, which is this guy's continued excellence, even if he's not close to peak LeBron, along with what I think is one of the coolest father-son stories in modern sports history. And as anticipated, playing Bronny 3 minutes now the Lakers can't compete. Now, if Bronny is a regular part of the rotation and hurts their chances throughout the year, that then to me is open season for criticism.
Absolutely.
But I don't think that's going to be the case, personally. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.